the episode with Marina Summers 2-ish years ago.
I think a year and a half ago. Yeah.
A year and a half ago, you were there, and that was the first time I met you. And Baus told me, I was thinking of starting a pod. I'm like, go for it! At eto na siya ngayon.
The first time we met was actually in 2011.
Me?
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
2012,
I
yes.
can't believe you waited this long to revert back.
Yes, I was waiting for the right time.
Please remind me.
So,
2011.
you were our endorser for a certain feminine wash
Oh my
brand.
gosh! Sa Ortigas tayo
Yes,
nag-meet!
yes! Yes.
Emerald Avenue.
Yes.
This is so crazy. Baus Rufo, welcome to Paano Ba To?
Hello, Bianca Gonzalez. Hello.
First of all, congratulations on Kaya Pa Ba and Dogshow Diva.
Thank you so much. Yeah, all of a sudden, I have multiple podcasts. It's such a gift. But if there's one thing I learned is that if the universe tries to point you one way, do not fight it. Lean into it. And that's just the only thing that I actually did.
Ang ganda. I love it. Okay, I'll make the most of you being here on Paano Ba To? Kasi ang Kaya Pa Ba, Paano Ba To, ano siya in the same...
Multiverse.
Yes, correct. We
correct.
exist in the same multiverse in that sana natutulungan natin ang mga tao to figure out how to do hard things in life. At dahil sa Dogshow Divas naman, talagang capitalized ang millennial market, which is also a big chunk of the market of Paano Ba To. I wanted to talk to you about millennial career problems.
Millennial career problems.
Dami niyan.
Ang dami niyan. Ang dami niyan. And I would argue that, my podcast, Kaya Pa Ba, was born out of my pandemic low. It was really that. So I've been doing content comedy for the last 4.5 years. But before that, I was in advertising for 10 years. Talagang, September 2020, I was at my lowest, burnout.
Think of the lockdown to.
Yeah, and it's just no creative outlet. Parang feeling is there ever going to be an end itong sa very demanding workplace? So I was really born out of that. And I think burnout is still very much a present thing, I think. And that's why I guess my comedy is also kind of my comedy, my podcasts, I feel are kind of a protest lang na parang, wait, karapat na nating tumawa lahat.
Yes.
So, I think it's really more of that.
Well, check ang objective at goal mo na yan because I laugh out loud driving alone listening to your pod. Sobrang nakakatuwa. And for everyone's information, the first time I actually met you in person was in another thing you do. So si Baus, madami siyang ginagawa in life. Sobra.
Yes.
And if you remember that we had an episode with Marina Summers 2-ish years ago.
I think a year and a half ago. Yeah.
A year and a half ago, you were there, and that was the first time I met you. And Baus told me, I was thinking of starting a pod. I'm like, go for it! At eto na siya ngayon.
Yes.
So that's another side of your life naman.
That's also another side of my life, which I feel is part of... Pasok pa rin siya sa millennial work problems. Only because I think in me resigning from the conventional 9 to 5, I sort of had to reinvent myself. So yes, I do comedy, but there are also other things I can do. So I think my experience from advertising kind of led to me being a part of Marina's parang team as kind of her publicist in a way, but also I lead all branded projects. So I guess to the millennials out there, what I just want to say is parang really take stock of every skill and talent that you have, and then weaponize and then monetize.
Ganda! Gusto ko yun. Ang ganda ng weaponize, ang visual na parang akala mo, kayang-kaya ko yan. But it's actually a secret weapon that you can use to your advantage.
Yeah. I mean, we live in a time now. I mean, I talked about this a podcast. 5-7 years ago, if you worked a 9 to 5 and then meron kang sideline or work sa weekend, people kind of pagchichismisan ka nila. Kasi parang, bakit bakit may iba kang trabaho? But now, people na parang, yes, they have a 9 to 5, tapos nagda-live selling sila sa gabi, meron silang binibenta sa weekend, and now it is the norm na parang everybody is expected to be like a Swiss Army knife of some sort.
Totoo. Which is another challenge in itself. And I wanted to ask you, speaking of millennial career problems, aside from that time na, I guess you were transitioning from the 9 to 5 to being a full-time creative, what were the other biggest career challenges that you faced?
I think definitely the first year of freelancing, of being a creative, is very tough. Kasi parang, you left the 9 to 5 because you wanted to have like a less stressful life. But also, when you transition, it's like, it has its own stresses as well.
Yeah.
Like, magugulat ka na lang, yung pasok ng projects, bakit parang masyadong mabagal? Parang dapat ata, kinaya ko na lang yung 9 to 5. But like the first year of freelancing is hard. I have friends in the stand-up community who also parang they had 9 to 5 before and then they transitioned into freelancing. It's really hard on your first year.
I'm glad you mentioned that because one of the toughest parts I feel about getting into freelance or content creation or whatever it is parang the marketing yourself. Kasi we find ourselves cringe when we promote ourselves, but at the same time, girl, kumikita ka, bukayan yun, kailangan natin gawin.
Correct.
So how do you navigate that?
I'm still navigating it because I manage myself So
self-managed.
Yeah, so I'm self-managed. So parang the talent manager and the artist, iisa sila. So sometimes parang the talent manager in me is like, no, you have to be posting X amount of times in a week. Pero like the artist in me is like, wait lang, parang hindi ko na kaya. And parang like may manonood ba niyan? So that part I'm still navigating. That's why I feel like I need to consciously carve pockets of my life na like I'm just me without me being the Dogshow Diva, without me being the podcaster. But that part is I think laging nagpapalit siya yung regimen mo for this year. I think for me mag-iiba siya by next year.
Yeah. It's great that you mentioned that. And one thing that I've noticed in your career progression, wow,
progression.
Like you said,
I love that term. Yeah.
Like you said earlier, yung lean in, diba? Parang something that I've noticed with our generation, although I consider myself a Zennial because I'm gitna ng Gen X and Millennial. I'm 1983. You're
91.
Bata. So I'm cusp. So actually, I sometimes identify more with Gen X than I do as a millennial. But something that I've learned through the years with our generation, kasi part tayo ng generation na hustle.
Yes.
Super work. Ibang-iba dun sa ngayon, right?
Correct.
And meron din tayong, I guess, thing when we started to navigate our career na find your lane. Parang find kung san ka.
Yeah.
And what I've seen with you, and like you said, no, yung lean in, pag pala mas celebrate mo yung unique, quirky things about you, the most random jobs that you've taken on before, it actually leads you to your lane.
Yeah. I mean, I always make this like a point of whenever I do like speaking engagements, like there are probably people in the 9 to 5 now na parang, oh my God, I am wasting away. Nagsasayang ako ng oras. I am probably better off pursuing that thing I love. While that is true, it is also true that in this moment, you might not be seeing that life is giving you the necessary education for you to be able to take that step when you eventually make that step. Because I've always wanted to be an entertainer. I've always wanted to pursue a career in performing. But I think the timing of me doing it in my 30s, I think it's more earned. And I feel like as artists, like, it needs to come from a place where like, wait, what do you have to say ba? Because if I did it right after college, I don't know if I would have lasted as long. I mean, I haven't lasted long yet. Pero parang feeling ko lang ngayon, parang I just feel it sweeter. And parang feeling ko as millennials, right now, we just wanna have a sweet life.
Totoo.
Diba?
Totoo. Minsan a soft life kung pwede.
Correct, yeah.
Alam mo, I love that you mentioned that kasi parang there is something about us millennials na unique in terms of career mindset. Meron tayong, and I don't know if it still exists now with the younger ones, we have a pay your dues mindset.
Yes.
We have a work up the ladder mindset. Hindi pwede yung boogs agad, yung
Correct.
mas fulfilling kapag earned.
Yes.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I personally like it.
Ako din.
I like it only because I came from advertising, nakita ko how expression is commoditized. So parang if it's earned, I just feel like the depth in it. I guess I go back to the same term, but I just feel it's sweeter. I feel like it resonates with me much more. And also in the age wherein like there are probably thousands and thousands of content creators, creatives that are just, popping up every day.
Yeah.
It is all about, I think, what do you really have to say?
Yeah.
And the earning it, I feel, is a very vital part in answering that question.
Totoo. Ang ganda. Pwede ka maging teacher sa ComDep. Totoo. If I were a student, I'd love to listen to
thank you.
Would you consider teaching? In
Marami na nagsasabi. Pero I definitely, parang the thought of mentoring is something na parang, that sounds exciting.
Yeah.
So I'm
Pang
not
future,
sure.
pang next decade.
I'm not
ganon.
sure if classroom yung construct niya. But yeah, I am open to it.
Yeah. Have you ever taken on any odd job in your life? Like aside from the advertising job?
Habang nasa advertising ako, so rumarakit talaga ako pag weekend. So, pag meron akong friend from college na kailangan lang ng like merchandise, like kailangan niya ng 100 pieces ng stuffed toy or headband for an event, kakaririn ko yun.
As in, maghahanap ka ng supplier?
Magharap ako ng supplier. As in, wala pa FB Marketplace, no? Nararakitin ko yan.
Okay.
Kailangan mo ng, because I did theater nung college, kung kailangan ng parang magharana ng mga doktor kasama ng medrep na may racket. As in, like, pinapatulan ko talaga lahat dati. Ang dami ko pang ginagawa.
Wait, pinapatulan because you wanted to earn on the side or because you wanted to do other things?
Both eh. And I think that was something na I wish I learned earlier, na parang you can, like, when you do small projects, na you feel like ginagawa mo lang to earn, you can be true to yourself in admitting that you're enjoying it. So, and I think as long as you enjoy it, as long as it kind of nurtures your curiosity, you get into this, alam mo when you're deep into the work na parang hypnotic na siya and you just feel like time passes by so
in
quickly.
the zone.
Yeah, like go for it.
Yeah.
Like that's always I think a good sign na parang you're onto something.
Yeah. I love that. Did you ever do pro bono work when you were starting?
No. I learned that early on. Yeah, I learned that.
Good for you.
I learned
Who
that.
taught you?
My parents. I think kasi rin yung mga magulang ko. Actually, now that we talk about it, na-realize ko lang, I grew up in a household na sobrang ang hilig rumakit ng parents ko. So I had that kind of as like part of
normal
na parang my mom is an economist, my dad is an engineer, pero pag weekend magkakatay sila ng baboy, magbebenta ng karne. Pag Christmas season magbebenta sila ng mga laruan. So like racket talaga sila.
Okay.
And I think because of that, it was probably downloaded sa akin na when you do something, you need to earn from it. No matter how big or small you think it is. That's why I guess, kahit ngayon hindi na ako nagpo-pro bono eh. Kasi parang feeling ko, if I say yes kasi to a pro bono, parang feeling ko rin, I am, in a way, di man betraying, pero para naman yung mga nagbabayad. Kasi same effort naman yung binibigay ko every time. So,
that's so interesting because me naman, maybe because I am almost a full decade older than you, when I was starting sa hosting, ang dami kong inesa na pro bono ng mga hosting. Yung parang to gain the experience, I guess. And hindi ko naman siya pinagsisisihan, although there is so much to be learned from kahit honorarium man lang, di ba? Yung binayaran naman lang yung effort ng pagpunta or yung minakeup mo sa self mo, ganon.
Correct. And I'm sure that time when you were starting, you kind of felt like, wait, kind of good at this. So I need to be valued in monetary terms kahit papaano.
Late na din dumating sa akin yung ganon. But I think at that time, hungry lang ako for the experience.
Yeah.
Although, as it gets ko na pala, swerte ako because at that time, may ipon ako. I was still living with my parents. And so meaning, hindi ko kinailangan yung mag-charge.
Yeah.
Parang ganon. Which
Yeah.
is a privilege and a
Yeah.
luxury,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
So sa lahat, oo. Doon na kayo sa advice ni Baus.
Yes, oo. Kailangan, guys, transpo pa lang eh. If you think about it, right? See? Transpo pa lang. Diba? Transpo pa lang. And then yun nga, makeup, food, wala pa dun yung time mo.
Yes.
Diba? And
yes.
after pa nun, you have to factor in the skills that you have.
Yes.
So if you really break down the money that you are asking for, I think you are really just asking for fairness.
Tama,
So,
tama. See, everything is political talaga. I keep telling people that.
Yeah.
Totoo yung presyo ng transpo natin, yung lack of public transport na sana mas mura to take a train,
I know.
etc. Yung traffic, the 2 hours spent going home and going to work.
It's
it's all political.
Yeah, it feels unfair, no? When you're stuck in traffic. But anyway, that is not
Another
the episode. That's for another time.
Part 2 episode
Correct.
yun. Speaking of millennial career problems, isa sa gusto kong tanungin sa'yo is the ushering in of the Gen Z in the workforce. Naghain sila ng ibang skills but also ibang mindset.
Correct.
So, was that a challenge?
Lalo na yung ibang
For you
mindset
at
talaga
all?
na, again, when I was starting sa advertising like 10, 12 years ago, parang hiyang-hiya ka mag-apply ng leave. Kasi parang,
my God,
diba?
yes, totoo.
Like, you walk around eggshells, you try to wait for the right time para ipa-approve sa boss mo. Maganda ba yung mood ng boss ko? Bagong kain ba siya?
Yes.
Diba? Parang, is this the right time para mag-apply? But now, parang standard question na I
Yes.
think sa interview process when an applicant asks for like, how does your company value work-life balance? When dati parang, kung hindi ka pa nakaswero, di ba? Hindi ka pa pwede mag-sick leave, di ba?
Pwede ka pang pumasok.
Di ba? And that shift, that has happened only in what? 8,
Yeah,
10 years?
totoo.
I think we're all grateful for that.
Totoo.
But I think definitely when you feel the shift happening in front of you, parts of you are like, but that's not how we did things.
Yes.
Di ba? So, I think it takes a lot of humility and also maybe realizing na maybe there is something I don't know that might actually be better for me.
Yeah,
So,
totoo. I do love the Gen Z. Like, I learn so much from them. Yun nga, that they have this attitude. Sometimes siguro when they're judged as entitled, feeling ko it's just certain individuals that
Yes,
may be entitled but not the generation
I
as
need
a
to be
whole.
fair. I have encountered, I mean, because naging boss na naman ako sa advertising before, I have encountered people who I think parang medyo nasobrahan. 'Di ba? And then, I guess ang akin naman, nasobrahan because yung timing lang lagi.
Yeah.
Parang they will tap out kapag game time na beast
Yeah.
mode na dapat. So I think only certain individuals, but I think Gen Zs, they are very hungry.
Yes.
And I think that is inspiring.
Super.
Especially right now na parang we gotta just keep fighting, whether that is for politics or for fairness. Parang we have a lot to learn from
Yeah,
them.
super. I love how they're purposeful.
Mm-hmm.
They're particular about that and they care about sustainability a lot. Yan ang mga check na natututo ang mga tito sa titas
Correct.
sa bagong henerasyon.
Saka gusto ko rin sa kanila, talagang medyo norm na parang like after 7 p.m., hindi sila magre-reply ng kusel.
Sa atin kasi matulog na.
Diba?
Mag-reply pa rin.
Magre-reply pa din. So parang minsan nababaliw na ako. Ba't hindi kayo nagre-reply? 8:30 pa lang. Wait lang. Pero then I realize, you know what? Is this a matter of life and death? Hindi naman.
Yeah.
Diba?
Ganda.
So, I mean, I guess naiinggit lang din ako because I wish meron din akong ganong parang panache
Yeah.
when I was at the same age as they are.
Totoo. Another challenge I personally feel nung pumasok ang Gen Z in the workforce is we started our careers at a time na in real life, ang every output that you had for your skill set, for your job, for your career. Tapos umusbong ang social media at lalong umusbong and now parang I have to do my job and I have to put it out online.
Yeah.
Hirap na hirap ako.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard. I read this somewhere. The name of the game now is actually out promoting.
What does that mean?
Like, you have to, it's all about promoting your work. Parang, yes, you have beautiful work, but if nobody knows about it, it's all about, you have to factor that in especially because like every day there are 90,000 content pieces that go out. So you really have to parang out-promote yourself.
Yeah.
Kailangan talaga siya.
I'm so tired.
I know. Can you say that again to the camera?
I'm so tired.
Me too.
Parang
I'm
pagod
so
na nga sa
tired.
work and then pagod na nga sa mga gusto mo gawin in life. Tapos dadagdag pa na kailangan ko
Correct.
i-edit into a reel or
I
magsulat
know.
ng caption.
I know, yung caption pa. Like yung caption ko sa podcasts ko, ako ang nagsusulat. So at one point, like,
Me too!
like
We're
ilang
the
beses ko
same.
nang nagamit yung marehan, ilang beses ko nang nagamit yung epiphany. I'm like, what else?
Oo. So, yeah, yun ang for me isang challenge. Parang as much as this dates me, yung parang keeping up with the times and how to, yun nga, promote yourself because it's so tiring.
Yeah. Isa rin kasing parang iniisip ko dyan, wala namang taong lalapit sa'yo, kakatok sa pinto mo na parang, knock, balita ko, meron dyan nakakatawang baklang Baus ang pangalan. Hindi siya ganun, diba? Like, you really have to tell them, hey, these are the things that I have to offer.
Yeah.
So, I look at it that way,
Yeah.
na parang, it's a bit of like my responsibility to myself for people to be able to see what I have.
Yes.
But the cringe part, I think, never gets old. Yeah.
We have to go through the cringe talaga
Yeah.
to grow and improve.
Yes.
One thing that I appreciate about your content that I resonate with is even though you are always putting out content, you are able to keep your private life private.
Yes.
Which I feel is something that hindi naman sa nagmamaranong but some of us millennials can teach fellow millennials or even Gen Zs na parang just because you're chronically online doesn't mean kailangan lahat tungkol sa buhay mo ay nasa online world din at may digital footprint.
Yeah. I think definitely it lets me know na at the end of the day, what I present online is not every bit of me. Which, in a way, kind of elevates the character that I've created for the public, which makes me motivated and excited to build and create for that character.
Yeah.
Because character lang siya, hindi naman ako yun eh. I mean, parts of me are there.
Yeah.
Diba? I think that's good. And it's, in a way, I like the happy tricksterness of see, natawa kayo doon. Maybe naman ako yun eh. That's just part of me. I mean, I kind of I like that part. But thank you for noticing that I keep my private life private.
Because I do as well. And parang, I think that a lot of people who want to get into content feel this pressure of, kailangan house tour, kailangan day in the life,
Correct.
kailangan ganito.
Correct.
But actually, no. There's a way to put yourself out there without fully revealing the private things that you want to keep private.
Which brings me to your point earlier that I feel like it is sweeter when it is earned. Because like you have to absorb life first and then, okay, if these are the things, these are my experience, how do I concoct what I am going to present to the public without it necessarily being my private life?
Tama,
Yeah.
tama. And lalo na now that everything we put out online is absorbed by the large models, etc. And forever na siyang it lives on the internet. We
I
should be
know.
more careful
And
about the
it's
things.
data for AI na rin. If you think, I mean, that is also another.
Super.
It's like, yeah.
Parang if you put everything online, baka may other us na
Correct.
online created by
Yeah.
technology, which is scary.
Yeah, it is scary.
Okay, this wouldn't be Paano Ba To without answering questions
Game.
from our supers, our
Game.
community.
Hello!
Eto na ang mga tanong nila. Interesting tong una. Sabi niya, I did a full 180 turn in my career. 2 years ago, I decided to resign and not continue in my field of profession. I tried something new as my side hustle while also starting a business which has always been my long-term dream. But nothing seems to work out for me. Thinking of going back to my 9 to 5 para consistent salary, pero part of me still wants to fight for my dream. Paano ba to?
Grabe yung fight for my dream,
Kaya.
no? Yeah. Because preamble, I feel like it is everybody's God-given right to fight for their dream and be able to find it. Pag ganyan, I try to just really distill it to its most essential, na the fact that you still get to enjoy the privilege of looking for a dream, I think should be fuel enough na. And I think there is this parang reality being downloaded to us that you will find that burning bright tower and then everything will fall into place. Actually, hindi totoo yun eh. Diba? Because like my burning bright tower is comedy, but sometimes I feel like quitting. Diba? Parang I think baka masyado rin nire-romanticize. Parang when you find that North Star, it will solve all your problems.
Yeah.
Ako, pag ganun, I just say, where does my curiosity lead me for the day? Just follow that, and it will lead you to the next one. It will lead you to the next one. It's kind of how Dogshow Divas happened in a way. Just like I just looked for breadcrums. Parang, okay, so ito pala.
Yes.
So I think, be kind to yourself, but also know that that your best days are still ahead of you. You are neither behind or ahead. I think it's always important to remind yourself of those things.
Yes. And you are right on time and where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
I love that take because I feel similarly. And I think maybe Paano Ba To also played a part in creating that Golden Tower vibe thing. Meaning, we've had a lot of people send in similar stories of wanting to quit their day job to pursue their passion. And yun nga, nare-romanticize. And I feature a lot of stories of those who did pursue their passion and it worked out. Pero paano kung hindi?
Correct. And also just to give you a picture, like I am living my best life now. I am very happy, but I am also at my most tired right now. So yun lang. Ina-explain ko lang po sa inyo. So pag nahanap nyo yon, ready ba kayong magtrabaho? Kasi ako, I quit my 9 to 5 to work 24/7. That's what
tama,
I tell.
gets.
Yeah. So parang really sink your teeth into how that life will look like when you finally find that golden burning tower.
Ganda.
Yeah.
Two things. One is I think he or she has to think of a practical side to this. Meaning, kaya pa ba ng ipon mo, ng emergency fund mo to still fight for your dream of that side hustle and business? Kasi kung kaya pa, like you said, obviously may fire pa eh.
Yeah.
So don't give up on it. And the second thing that I wanted to say is very much related to what you said. Meron akong it was a very random statement said to me when I was in college and I was working already. And something happened and my friend told me, well, that's the price you pay for the life you choose.
Ooh.
And that has stuck with me ever since. I've said it many times on the podcast na parang there is a price to pay for any life that you choose. Alin yung willing kang bayaran?
Yeah.
Alin yung willing kang ibigay at isugal?
I think ang nakuha ko rin sa question niya is, I think she is probably in the right place right now. Because when I wanted to pursue comedy, I never wanted to burden it with paying for the bills. Because it's a tough profession to pursue.
Yeah.
That's why I took on the many side hustles that I eventually fell in love with.
Yeah.
So I think talagang mas tanggapin mo yung norm na I will probably need something on the practical side to make sure lang then it funds the passion.
Yes.
Because then, yung relationship mo with your passion, kapag the cash flow is not there, I don't want you to end up hating pursuing that, diba? So I think the norm here is really like make room for it to just have the right lift. So kung kailangan mong rumakit na kung ano, go.
Yeah. Or kung kailangan mo mag-BPO for a while to save up, no shame in that at all.
Yeah.
Same advice kay ni Atom Araulio.
Talaga?
Yeah, ganyan din siya. Parang wag mo daw maliitin yung trabaho na meron ka kung yun ang daan para makaipon ka to do things you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Hindi lahat ng tao passion yung trabaho nila and that's okay.
Yeah. And I think basagin natin yung fantasy na pag nahanap mo yung passion mo, 8 hours a day ka na natutulog, TV ka sa gabi, nakita mo yung amiga mo sa weekend, no girl.
Hindi talaga.
Pag naharap mo yung passion mo, pag tatrabahuhin ka ng passion mo, promise.
Tama.
Diba? Yeah.
Ang ganda ng quotable quote. Dami na naming reels para sa episode na to. Okay, next. How to deal with a millennial boss na ka-age or age group mo rin. Nandun yung career frustration or anxiety na while magka-age kayo pero mas advanced siya in terms of position and ranking. But in terms of work, output, or skills, parang minsan lacking pa siya or mas lamang ka.
That's a great question.
And
because,
this applies to our generation talaga.
Yeah, because I have been part of this conversation because, I mean, I was kind of a rock star in the workplace kasi.
I love it.
Yeah, to use a corporate term, I think that's how I would classify myself. I mean, just to flex a bit, yung LinkedIn profile ko, mga 4 na taon nang natutulog, pero major flex pa rin siya.
Ay, grabe.
So I was in that place of, number one, mas magaling ako sa boss ko na older pa sa akin. And then yung mga peers ko at that time, mas mabilis rin yung trajectory ng career ko sa kanila. For a time, I felt like something was wrong with me. Because parang, wait, this is not the right momentum. But like, I was on a different velocity, speed, I don't know the physics term. And I think that's okay. But the way I think to realize that is, lalo na pag sweldo, I think people are paid not by the volume of work that they can carry, but really the complexity of problems they can solve. I think it's really more of that. So maybe there is something about this person that you don't know. Always the benefit of the doubt. But it is hard when blatantly you see, bakit siya? Bakit siya? But I think ang maganda kong advice is that you're playing the long game. You will probably be not in this same company for the next 2 to 3 years. Magkakahiwalay kayo eventually. So, kanya-kanyang journey yan. Pwede kasing okay siya ngayon, then magulat ka, baka like, what if hanggang dyan na lang pala siya? Diba? So, I think you have to think of that.
Perfect pala tong question na to para sa'yo.
Yes, oo.
So, in that time, in that era of Baus, because you knew your skills, you knew you could give, you knew the problems that you could solve, was there ever a time that you yourself asked either for a raise or a promotion?
Yes.
Wow, that's so hard.
Yes, definitely. Because I got really lucky then na nung first few years, yung mga advertising mentors ko, sinabi na like, I've got it. Like, you've got it. You've got what it takes. So when
may ano ka na, may basbas ka na.
Correct. May sidebar kwento pala ako dyan in a bit. May basbas na nila. So parang I knew my worth early on eh. I think ang pinaka-in-instill nila sa akin were kind of the soft skills, not so much the hard skills. It's not the tipong, sino may pinakamagandang minutes of the meeting na covered lahat. It was more of like the people skills, the rallying collaborations to produce kind of like the most compelling work.
Yeah.
So when I eventually moved to companies, I had with me parang, I guess dilulu, but that kind of served me well. So pag hindi binibigay sa akin, usually lumilipat ako ng kumpanya. Because I also understood it's all about money anyway, diba? If you think I'm not worth it, then I'll look for another company who will feel like I am worth their time.
Yeah. That's such a big jump because a lot of people will be afraid to leave what they already have kasi baka no one else will bet on them.
Correct.
So kailangan talaga yung lakas ng loob at galingan mo yung sarili mo.
Yeah.
Galingan mo yung output mo.
Yes. So yung sidebar kwento ko is the first time we met was actually in 2011.
Me?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
2012,
I can't believe you waited this long to revert back.
Yes. I was waiting for the right time.
Please remind me.
So,
2011.
you were our endorser for a certain feminine wash
Oh my
brand.
gosh! Sa Ortigas tayo nag-meeting!
Yes! Yes.
Emerald Avenue.
Yes.
This is so crazy.
So, binrief
Oh my
ako
God,
yung agency.
I remember.
Yes.
That is so insane.
Yes. So, I was the accounts person there.
That's so insane.
And then, so that was actually the first time we met. I was just
my
a baby advertising girly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that's like Yeah.
Those were oh wow, that's so long ago. Thank you
Yeah.
for reminding me. At tawang-tawa ako
Gusto
na
ko
you
na-
waited this long to drop the bomb.
Nagets mo agad yung naalala mo agad,
yes,
right?
na-place ko yung face
Yes.
or maybe the energy
Yeah.
more than the face.
Yeah.
Ang galing.
Yes.
So yes, you are where you are meant to be at every point because
I
that will
know.
lead you to where you're
Correct.
supposed to be
Yes.
eventually.
And we're here 13 years after.
Crazy. As podcasters.
As podcasters, diba? As peers. You're like, okay.
Random.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. Uy, ito medyo malalim yung pinagdadaanan niya. Sabi niya, in the middle of my career, I realized I am neither effective nor comfortable in the field I chose. I now want to reset and restart on a different career path. Paano ba to?
Do it. It's as simple as that. Do it, but also give yourself even more permission to fail. Because if you are going to take on something new, the learning curve will probably be longer.
And tougher.
So do it, but also know that it might just be the most difficult thing you'll ever take on. Yeah, it is like that eh.
Yeah.
It is like that. I've had career moves like that na parang, of course, when you move to a new job, best foot forward, it's gonna be like this. I'm gonna make these big moves in 2 years. My resume is gonna look like this. Pero 3 months into the job, so many things, like a number of miracles need to happen for you to be able to like get your best case scenario. So you need to learn to like really pivot. And also know that parang if tomorrow is worse than today, paano ba to?
At kailangan kayanin mo to.
Correct. Oo, ganun talaga siya. And it's all about, I think, elasticity. And it's all about bouncing back. It's there's this term called anti-fragility. It's let's look it up. Like parang basically you still fail forward. And okay, this is a failure, but it's still a forward momentum.
Oh my gosh, parang naman kayo ni Ato Maralio. Have you met?
No, I haven't.
Of course you know him.
Yes, of course.
Ganyan din yung advice niya in the last episode, I believe I recorded with him. Sabi niya, one of his favorite quotes is, fail fast, fail forward.
Yes, that is something na tinuro sa akin sa improv class. Parang fail as many times in the shortest time possible.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know, as someone who has lived most of her life, my life, na ako a comfort zone girl. A comfort zone girly. I have 2 daughters and I constantly talk to my husband about we want to raise our daughters to take more risks kasi we weren't raised that way and no shade at all on my parents. It's what was the norm before.
Correct.
But talo na with how things are now and the jobs that will exist in the future that don't even exist now, they have to learn how to take risks and fail, but it's so hard.
Yes,
how does one even like begin to shift mindset from okay na ako, dito na ako sa lane ko versus like sige, sugal tayo.
Diba? Parang just when you are getting comfortable with a thing or in a space, I think the universe will make you realize, wait, we gotta move this way naman. It is a really hard skill, I think, to learn, but I think everybody needs to learn it because the tide is moving that way.
Super.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I'm gonna quote another friend who has been on the pod as well. Her name's Ana Oposa, and she always reminds me that when you get out of your comfort zone, that's your magic zone.
Yeah.
And so whenever I feel like ayoko na i-risk, parang hindi na ako susugal, I always think that I'm like, okay, yes, the most growth always happens when I go out of my comfort zone. It's just so uncomfortable, pero kailangan gawin.
Whenever you find yourself parang refusing to believe that, really try to go back to the times when you experienced like a big positive shift.
Yeah.
Probably the day before that, you were extremely uncomfortable. So just know that is a universal truth.
Correct.
Na it happens, the magic happens in that particular
Yes,
zone.
at hindi ka nag-iisa dun sa discomfort na yon kasi
everybody
lahat
goes
tayo.
through that. That's why you need podcasts to accompany you in those really weird times. Kasi yung
totoo.
podcast ko, yung kaya pa ba? Like, who am I really making this for? I was making it for the advertising girly na nag-OT at 11 p.m. na alam niyang 4 a.m. pa talaga siya makaka-uwi. But she needs whatever inspiration she can get to just muscle through the night.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, same. The reason Paano Ba To also exists, it's because it was what I felt. Sana may ganito ako napapakinggan
Yeah,
nung college ako,
Correct.
nung nasa first job ako, struggling, figuring out, like, heartbroken, lahat ng yan. Yan yung kailangan kasama. Oh, thanks so much, Baus.
Thanks, Bianca.
Such a joy to have you
so
here
fun.
on Paano Ba To. And sobrang sumakto talaga yung lahat ng questions from the supers and even sharing your life advice kasi I'm sure meron nakikinig nito na parang, alam ko na gagawin ko ngayon.
Sana, thank you. Credit nyo kami ha, kapag like, bilyonaryo na tag nyo kaming dalawa. Sabihin nyo, it was this podcast.
It was this episode.
Correct.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so much.
Baus.
Paano Ba To is created and hosted by me, Bianca Gonzalez, with podcast producer Anika Neri and edited by Paolo Halili. To be part of our community of supers, please do follow this podcast here on Spotify or click the subscribe button on YouTube, and you can follow Paano Ba To on Instagram, ask Paano Ba To on TikTok, and join our private Facebook group, the Paano Ba To Super Group. Till our next episode, stay super, supers!